Hey folks, Randy here, Dulin Cut Trim. I was thinking about something and thought I would share it with you guys today, and as soon as I clicked on the camera, I realized I can't remember what it was. Daggone it, I thought it was, oh, I remember now. Okay, alright. I'm having an interesting experience. You know, sometimes you do the best you can to be as helpful with your customers and, you know, really try and put a good face forward for them, but, you know, they don't always get the message, man, you know. And when that happens, you know, the tempting thing to do is to be like, hey, you guys don't get it. But the problem with that is I really need them to get it, because if they don't get it, then I'm not going to get their business, and that, you know, that represents a significant amount of revenue lost because the customer didn't understand what I was trying to do. So an example of this that I'm dealing with now is when I sign up a new customer, or let me back up, I'm sorry. When a customer fills out the form on my website to, you know, get a quote for lawn mowing, they get 2 emails. The first one is titled, "Thank you for contacting Dulin Cut Trim," and it's just a thank you note from me saying thank you for reaching out to us. We think you're going to love working with us. Here's some important info. And on one side, it's got all my contact information, phone number, email address, website, P.O. box, all that fun stuff. And on the right-hand side, it has directions for logging into our client portal. The lawn gas, the web address for the portal, along with the username, temporary username and password. So that goes out to all of them. And then the second email they get is the quote for servicing their lawn. And I've noticed from the get-go, as soon as I started doing that, I constantly had customers telling me that the username and password didn't work, or they didn't know what it was. And I didn't think much about it, but I would just send them, you know, I would just reset it and send them the new things, and it would be fine after that. Well, as my business has continued to grow, that issue has continued to occur, and I started talking to some of these customers, because some of them would call about it instead of email. And in talking to them, I realized they weren't actually looking at the "thank you for contacting Dulin Cut Trim" email. They, I mean, they would see it, they would click it, but they weren't actually reading it. So when they accepted the quote, the way it works with us, you accept the quote, that triggers an email giving you directions on how to put your credit card on file with us. And that's why they need the client portal info. And they were assuming that the client portal information would be in that email. Now the answer is no, that information is not in that email. It's in the "thank you for contacting Dulin Cut Trim" email. And then they're like, oh, okay. But you know what? That's what I've discovered, though, is that that's actually a hurdle to getting customers to convert. Because what I have had happen is people sign up for the lawn maintenance, but they haven't put their credit cards on file. And, you know, we don't service their property unless we have the credit card information. So it's, even though they signed up, we don't actually get the account because they give up. And they don't go through the process of, you know, contacting us. So even though I have done everything I need to do for this to be a success on their end, I have to recognize as a business owner that if they're not recognizing what I've given them, that they're not realizing they already have the information, then it's up to me to put it in front of them in a way that they will recognize it. And the easy solution to this problem is they're assuming that username and password information is going to be in the confirmation email that gives them directions to put the credit card on file. That makes sense. I'd never thought of that, but I've had 2 different customers last week tell me that that's what they thought. So as instead of taking the time to correct everyone and possibly lose out on leads or conversions, you know, each customer is worth about $1,000 a year for me. Instead of losing that money, I just make the change. I make the correction. If that's what they're looking for, if that's what's easier for them, I'll just do that. I'll put the portal information in the confirmation email. Problem solved. So I guess my point in telling you that story is look for ways to better the service that you're giving your customers. You know, like, you might be doing what you need to do. You might be doing a good job. I think we have a very good customer service experience. I think it's better than probably 99% of the lawn businesses out there. But that doesn't mean it can't get better. And so I'm constantly looking for opportunities to make it better. And this is an example of a place that I can make it better and make it so there's less friction with the lead to customer conversion. So I just wanted to pass that on to you. I hope it's helpful to you, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks a lot.